Here are your solutions to 9-6. We'll start with letter A. They asked us to identify any symmetry, clusters, gaps, peaks, or outliers in the distribution below. Well, first of all, we can quickly see that it is definitely not symmetric, so that's our first part, non-symmetric. We can also see that there's a cluster from 60 to 63. The data is pretty well clustered right there. We have a peak at 61 right here, peak at 61. There are gaps between 58 and 60 right here, and between 63 and 71. And we would definitely qualify 71 as an outlier. Letter B. The graph shows the hours per week that dance students practice their dances. Describe the center and spread of the distribution. Justify your response based on the shape of the distribution. Round to the nearest tenth if necessary. Well, the first thing we need to do is recognize that this is definitely symmetric, so we have a symmetric situation. Therefore, the mean and the mean absolute deviation are the appropriate measures to use. The data are centered around the mean of 5 hours. We can see that the mean is 5 hours. We can add this all up and divide, and this is going to be our mean of 5 hours. The spread of the data around the center is about 1.2 hours. Here are your solutions to guided practice. Problem number 1. The number of nachos sold at the football concession stand is shown in the line plot at the right. So here's our data here on the line plot. Describe the shape of the distribution, identify any clusters, gaps, peaks, or outliers. So first of all, we would say that it is not symmetric. It does not look the same side to side, so not symmetric. There's a cluster of data from 23 to 27. There's our cluster. And also another cluster from 29 to 31. So we have a peak at 27, and there is a gap between 20 and 23. Here's a gap, and between 27 and 29. And there are no outliers. Secondly, for letter B, they asked us to describe the center and the spread of the distribution, justify based on the shape of the distribution. Well, because it is not symmetric, we're going to use the median and the interquartile range. So the data are centered around the median of 25. Right here's our median of 25, and the spread around the data is 3 because of the interquartile range spread. And lastly, number 2, why is the median used to describe the center of a non-symmetric distribution instead of the mean? A non-symmetric distribution can contain an outlier. The mean is greatly influenced by an outlier, so the median is used to describe the center. Please do independent practice.